Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programas offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule.
I nostri programmi sono offerti in molte lingue. Consultate suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Unfortunately, the Belgian coastline and its pretty seaside towns are extremely vulnerable to rising sea levels. The colorful historic city center of Bruges, Part 2 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
We all want to live a peaceful, happy, noble life. So be vegan, make peace, do good deeds.
When something is awesome, you can say it is Bangelijk in Dutch, one of the official languages in Belgium. Noble viewers, I am Jan. The hospitable people of Belgium are grateful to know such awesome friends as you who strive to make the world a kinder, better place. We are delighted to have you join us for part 2 of the two-part series entitled The Colorful Historic City Center of Bruges. In 2009, UNESCO also included the procession of the Holy Blood, which is held every Ascension Day in Bruges, in the listing of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The first procession of the Holy Blood took place in 1291, and the event can attract up to 100,000 spectators. The founding of Bruges dates back to the Roman era. Julius Caesar constructed fortifications in the 1st century BC, which later became the foundations of a castle, constructed by the 9th century Count of Flanders. Then the township grew around it. Geographically, the site of Bruges was significant as a point where many small tributaries converged into one river, the Rhine, which then flowed to the North Sea. Vessels were able to reach the seat of the wealthy rulers of Flanders, the Flemish counts, with power, money, and defenses all in the one location. Bruges soon became a successful commercial trading center. A thriving textile trade began in the 13th century, and for the next 2 centuries, Bruges experienced a golden age. The Rhine was canaled, allowing ships to sail all the way into Bruges. Raw materials were shipped in, particularly from Britain, via the main arterial canal, earning Bruges the status of a seaport. Various merchants, or guilds, houses were built, and the insignia can still be seen today above the doorways, indicating the particular trade or goods produced. Merchants from all over the world began to settle in Bruges, and in 1309, what is thought to be one of the world's first stock exchanges was established. As Bruges continued its rise as a trading center, stock trading originally took place outside of a house, in a square belonging to one of the city's wealthiest traders, the Van der Beurs family. The house of the Van der Beurs family, built in 1246, is believed to be the first ever stock exchange. By 1340, Bruges' inner city alone had a population of approximately 35,000. By the 15th century, Bruges had reached its commercial peak, and its weavers were considered some of the finest in the world. When the Duke of Burgundy chose Bruges as one of his royal courts, a stream of high society flowed into the mercantile city. The population bulged to about 200,000 residents, even becoming a haven of choice for some of England's exiled kings. The Englishman William Caxton set up a printing press in Bruges in 1472 with Collard Mansion, a Flemish calligrapher, and produced one of the first books ever printed in the English language, Recueil of the Histories of Troy, or a collection of the histories of Troy.
Vegan leaders, brilliant future.
Tranquil viewers, let's take a moment to pray that all people swiftly adopt the planet-protecting vegan lifestyle. We'll be right back here on Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to the colorful historic city center of Bruges, part 2 of 2. During its golden age, Bruges attracted many artists, and a group of painters known as the Flemish Primitives found inspiration in the city. This artistic movement is distinguished by a highly permeating refinement of oil painting and by an assiduousness to depict the visible world as precisely as possible. This realism was also applied to religious imagery and iconography. The works of two of these Flemish primitives, Jan van Eyck and Hans Memling, can be seen at various locations in the city. The inner city network of canals is lined with colorful houses, great overreaching trees, and spanned intermittently by arched bridges, making Bruges particularly picturesque. Another delightful characteristic of the bricked waterways is the presence of a multitude of white swan people who have lived in and around the canals for over 500 years, peacefully accompanying tourist barges on their daily cruises through the historic city. Legend states that in 1488, the townspeople revolted, resulting in the demise of the city's chief administrator named Peter Lanchels and the exile of the Burgundian ruler Maximilian I, Archduke of Austria. Maximilian swore revenge. Later returning with a sizable army, he decreed to the citizens of Bruges the city should keep the swans on all its lakes and canals at its own expense until the end of time. Swans were chosen by the Archduke to commemorate Peter Lanchels, whose name was close to the Dutch word Langehaus, meaning long-necked. Moreover, the number of swans was not to fall below 58, or Maximilian would retaliate. Some feared a flood or some other catastrophe, and so the number of swan people has always been maintained above 101, and is presently in excess of 120 swan people. In 2014, a black swan person appeared amongst the white swan people, apparently for the first time in over 500 years, gaining much public interest. Near the end of the 15th century, Bruges' golden age drew to a close. The royal court of Burgundy left the city, and although there was no flood, the main arterial canal that connected Bruges to the sea silted up at a swift rate and ships could no longer sail into port. This is why the city remained completely unchanged by the rapid developments in trade technology brought on by the Industrial Revolution. Over the next few centuries, Bruges became a forgotten relic of a past age, until the end of the 19th century, when an illustrated book appeared written by Belgian author George Rodenbach. The book showcased the postcard perfect images of Bruges, which in turn prompted an influx of tourists. Unfortunately, the Belgian coastline and its pretty seaside towns are extremely vulnerable to rising sea levels. Recently, the UN Weather Agency confirmed a new record 18.3 degrees Celsius temperature in Antarctica, consistent with climate change. According to the research, in Antarctica, one of the fastest melting glaciers is contributing to as much as 4% of the global annual sea level rise and placing intense pressure on low-lying coastal cities across the globe. As a result of climate change, some of the world's most cherished cultural monuments, including the city of Bruges, may disappear beneath the sea. In 2009, Supreme Master Qinghai spoke of the solution to saving our beautiful planet.
The truth is, we are already not able to handle such situations. In places where global warming is already reaching extreme degrees, some countries and communities have to cope with worsened drought situations. There's not enough water to raise crops or even to drink. Their rivers and lakes are drying up or completely gone. Please refer to the suprememastertv.com for more information. Glaciers melt in many places so dramatically that one moment there are massive floods and soon after a drought. So how can we handle the mass migration of tens of millions of people all at once due to desertification? The rising sea levels or the permanent loss of crop fields is very difficult and maybe even impossible. And it's not just numbers. Every child, family, and society will be affected in some way by this experience of trauma and tragedy. We are not ready for the changes that are coming. We are not ready at all. We are not prepared enough. Some of the changes are even anticipated to be unexpected because there are many complicated interacting factors. The wisest action would be to fix the situation we have now and prevent further damage. Then we won't even have to worry about the future. All the leading scientists we have spoken to tell us one and the same, that we must handle it now, not tomorrow. The smartest way would be to stop the worsening of global warming by being vegan. It sounds very simple, but it is the best solution, the most effective, and the effect of it will be felt almost immediately.
All information concerning the scientific evidence of climate change and its solution is in Supreme Master Qinghai's book, From Crisis to Peace, free for download at crisistopeace.org. We sincerely pray that humanity may quickly heed these warning signs and adopt the planet-saving vegan lifestyle so that our current and future generations may continue to enjoy such culturally significant places like Bruges in safety and wellness.
I've been vegetarian since a young age, and my family are all vegetarians. Trương Thị May, vegetarian.
Wonderful viewers, thank you for joining us today. Coming up next is The Schubert Dressing, Healing Through Music, Part 2 of 2, right after noteworthy news, here on Supreme Master Television. May we all be guided by wisdom and compassion for a world blossoming in friendship and beauty.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WAU.